felt in the mood to do a little card reading for whoever's watching. And I felt inspired to do a card reading from Sacred Rebels by Lana Fairchild. It's June 1st. I feel like every month has a different vibe, you know what I mean? And it's definitely true. It's like the beginning of summer. For me personally, this time of year is extremely emotional, and I always tend to process deeper stuff around this time for certain reasons. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick card reading, because I'm feeling kind of, well, I have inner work to do. I have things to process, and I feel like it's always nice to share these things, if you feel called to. This says it's guidance for living a unique and authentic life. Woohoo. Who doesn't want that? Right. So when you're doing healing work, it's really for everybody. Not that you have to share it, like, because you don't, but my Spotify playlist for June is out, by the way. Just by the way, it's out. I can add to it, but I always add to it, but like, it's out. And you know, it's personal for me. Like, it's personal, but it's also like, if you resonate with it, like, then that's good too. Okay. How long are we going to shuffle? We don't know. Okay. First card from Sacred Rebel is Collaborative Dreaming. Okay. I'm okay. Yeah. Yep. I don't think I have anything to say about this, because I've already said it all via email and my video about the Pluto and Aquarius vibes going on. Collaborative dreaming. Basically, it's time to partner with other people. So if you've been resisting that, if you've been self-conscious about partnership, please refer back to my other video. I'll link it below, where I talk about what Pluto being an Aquarius means and what we're all called to do is partner. Because the Ascension is a collaboration. And I do frequently think about and speak about the analogy of musicians in a band, where on one hand, being a solo artist is beautiful and it's good, and like, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, no matter what, you're always going to have to collaborate with other people, like your producers, your record label, people who are adding in other instruments like bass or drums, backup vocals. And it teaches you, Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters said that you need to just allow yourself to suck. Meaning you get together with a group of people that you want to make music with, and you just suck. Allow yourself to suck. And be really bad. But you'll learn something and you'll start creating. You can't just like wait till everyone's perfect, like hide in a corner and make sure you're a perfect musician and artist, and then go start collaborating with other people. because it's the collaboration that brings out your things you're not so good at and the other people's things they're not so good at. I once lived in a house of musicians, and it was like the most fun I've ever had because we just jammed. You have to be okay with jamming. You don't need to like hole up in like a private space and like there's a difference between like practicing and perfecting your art in your own time versus like hiding and refusing to collaborate. So this is your sign that it's time to reach out to whomever you feel called to, because there is no competition in heaven and we all perfectly complement one another. Living with Dan for this many years has definitely taught me that, because I sometimes am shocked at how our collaboration works. It's effortless. So the book says your heart is big enough to dream not only for yourself but for a new humanity. Imagine a world that is healed with respect, understanding, and with community that fosters life. Even your dreams that relate to you alone will contribute positively to the greater good, because that is the nature of your heart. Your heart naturally and intelligently cooperates in a grand scheme of loving creativity, working to heal the hearts of the world. The heart creates win-win situations that benefit the individual and the collective. You are being asked to honor your growing desire to co-create with conscious, like-minded people. Yeah. This is about creative endeavors involving groups. Stay in your integrity, honor what you feel, especially if the group involvement becomes complex or challenging. I call on unconditional love. Please help and guide me in this project. You are going through this experience or will be in the near future because you are part of a new creative learning program for humanity. This learning program is taking place at a spiritual level, and it requires highly individualistic and creative people to learn to work with each other without compromising who they are in order to reach a common creative goal. Please remember that what really matters is that you hear your own voice. Others may or may not be able to receive it. This reminds me of the movie Ariel, or The Little Mermaid. Dan and I saw that last summer, the new one with Halle Berry. I literally am in love with that new version. I literally love it so much, but it was so inspiring to us when we saw that in theater. It really hit me, because my whole life I've been working on throat chakra. Not just in regards to my musicianship and my writing and my voice there, but my voice as a teacher. My voice in regard to unmasking autism and staying in my integrity. And so, Ariel, the Little Mermaid's always been my favorite Disney princess because she has red hair just like I do. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am a natural redhead. It just, certain lighting makes it look different. And I love swimming and being by bodies of water, and I love singing and travel and adventure. And I'm also sorry to get, I'm getting into it. I'm just sorry. I'm not sorry, though. I'm going to get into it. As far as human design goes, I am a manifesting generator. What that means is my sacral chakra and my throat chakra are two of my predominant chakras. That's why I got an orange Subaru Crosstrek that I have to get rid of soon. I'm going to be selling it soon because I have to. Sacral is sexuality, creativity, and the throat is the expression of that. So that's main vibes for me my whole life. I'm also life path number 3, which is all about creativity, self-expression, community, collaboration. So this is like a big thing for me. I also turned 30 last December. And if you know numerology, 3 plus 0 equals 3. And that is my life path number. So this year is extremely important for me. It's more important than even my Saturn return, my first Saturn return year. So I'm going to link my other video because these are the vibes right now. You can't get away from it. You can try. Sorry. You can try. You're not going to get away from it. It's time for creativity, collaboration. It's time for mess. You need to allow things to be messy. Kind of like how when you're cooking, the kitchen gets really messy first. You clean it up later. Same thing with music or any sort of new creation. Like, should we talk about the Big Bang? Do we want to talk about it? Divine chaos and such. The Big Bang created the universe, right? Do you think that was like that's a pretty powerful move, isn't it? And it seemed messy, but it was actually in perfect divine order. This oracle brings a message to those of you that are involved in a group and are struggling over whether to continue or to let it go and move on. You are asked to trust your heart and not to allow any group to become more powerful than the wisdom of your own heart. A+. A+. That's facts. Always allow the sacred rebel lost it. Where is it? Always allow the sacred rebel within you to question authority. Have we heard of Indigo children? So like the crystal children are more of what's coming now, but I'm an Indigo child. You can look that up. It's pretty easy to research. And Indigos like really buck authority and buck current systems. It's who they are. And it's safe to claim that. And that could look like a lot of different things. It could look like a lot of different things. So, that's collaborative dreaming. Okay. The next card is diving for light. Wow. Diving for light. Number 11. The collaborative dreaming was 28. Which in numerology is 1, new beginnings. This is 11, which in numerology is 2, which is about partnership and union. Diving for light. This reminds me of someone's business name in Church of Union right now. Is it Diving for the Divine? Yeah. I love how everyone's business names in Church of Union are like perfect. Like it's obvious that like God gave them all of like everyone's business name. It's really cool. So diving for light, I don't really have anything right off the bat for this, but the book says how brave you are. You are diving for light. It can be so much simpler to seek light in the heavenly. Oh, in that which is blissful, sweet, loving, and kind. To look for the light in that which is dark is an advanced task that only a rebellious and brave heart will attempt. You may not feel that you have taken such a journey by choice, yet you have taken this wise challenge on from deep within your soul. Oh my gosh, I know. Your innermost being has evoked this situation in your life with the intention that you grow in power, wisdom, and creative juice. It also wants you to experience a bold and fearless trust in life. and become further empowered to live it with zest and courage. There, yeah, I told you I had inner work to do. I'm not hiding that. The Oracle of Diving for Light speaks of a time when you are called into darkness. Through life circumstances, situations, relationship challenges, or inner struggles that defy clear understanding. That darkness might be a creative block, a sense of being in a void, or feelings of depression, rage, sadness, or anxiety. The darkness might be generally accepted. Okay. There may be no obvious justification for your experience of darkness. Our creative process and our spiritual path go through a similar turning of the wheel. It's like that song, Big Wheel Keeps on Turning. I think that's in my Karma playlist on Spotify. If it's not, I'll add it to it. But it's that song, Big Wheel Keeps on Turning. Basically, it's about... it's about... It's about, with karma, we have the cycle of death and rebirth. But as Jeff and Shalia teach, there is a way to break through that. There's a way to break through that. There's a way to break out of the karma of death and rebirth. So if you're interested in that, check out Unionism. This oracle brings particular guidance that although you are powerful, you are also vulnerable at this time. Yeah. So when I was in spiritual boot camp, one of the things Jeff and Shalia told me is that when I don't have an ego anymore, which you don't have to begin with, but you know what I mean, right? The work is to purify yourself so you don't have ego anymore. It's a process. One of the things they said to me is that when you're in your divinity and you've shed your ego, you're gonna feel very vulnerable and even wounded potentially, and just sensitive, and that's a good thing. Sensitivity is not a bad thing. You need to be vigilant against darker forces within you. These are the voices that you may not expect, particularly if you're a pure-hearted being who typically resonates with love. These voices or feelings might surprise you with their dark intensity. You must stay in your heart and not believe these dark forces. Diving for light is a spiritual test and a threshold. Oh my God, that reminds me of Ariel too. Look at my stuff. Isn't it neat? She was always digging for treasures. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I'm just like that. We successfully navigate our way through this test and pass a threshold into new creative birth by staying connected to the light of compassion in our own hearts. It is not an easy test, but it is one that you must be ready for. Otherwise, it wouldn't be coming to you now. Just remember, it is the light of the heart that sustains. It exists within us always, even in the darkest depths of unknown terrain. Wow. Okay. So, God has given me a symbol over the past few years to help inspire me on my path, and it is the lotus. And while the lotus is not only my personal symbol, just for instance, if you have a birthday, other people can also have that birthday. But at the same time, God has given me the symbology of the lotus so many times over the past few years to help remind me of my divinity. and help remind me that, like, my time could never be wasted by God, in that, like, I went from, like, the highest vibration possible in spiritual boot camp to the lowest vibration that like, my personal baseline. And then I can't even talk about it because, like, that's my book, and I'm not going to give away my book on YouTube. But the lotus represents purification. And I don't even know if I can continue. Okay, I told you I had spiritual work to do and I was doing it on camera. Okay. But I don't want this video to take forever. It is the work of any spiritual teacher to purify their own consciousness. And when you do that, then you automatically, wherever you go, you bring that light with you, and you purify whatever environment you're in. Like I said, if I go deeper into this subject, I'm not gonna make it. I would just kind of collapse into a puddle on the floor. Number one. And number two, that's basically the entire content of my book that I will be writing, and I'm not giving that stuff away. Nope. Not gonna. You can read about it in my book when it comes out. And the last card for today's reading is... I also just wanted to make a quick mention that I recently read on Instagram a post about, like, how much energy it takes for a woman to create a child. And it's a lot more than people think. Like, the process of having a child these days, like, seems to be, especially with media, like TV shows and stuff, it seems like, yeah, you just pop out a kid and then you deal with it. If you're called to have a child, go for it. But, like, I just read like an Instagram post about, like, how much energy it takes to create a child in a woman's body, and it's way more than people are thinking. And when I was talking to one of my friends a couple months ago, actually, she mentioned to me about, like, how there used to be a time way back when like, women were, like, revered for their process of creation. And every month when a woman would have their menstrual cycle, like, men would, like, worship them and like just be attentive to them. And, like, it was just, like, a really cute conversation about, like, honoring femininity and the processes that a woman goes through that a man doesn't have to go through. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'm going there. What I mean by I'm going there is I'm gonna talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about. It's okay. Well, it does fit the vibe of Sacred Rebel, because basically one of the things that the universe is teaching me right now, God is teaching me right now, is to not fit in and just unabashedly be myself. Kind of like in one of Adam and Brienne's videos from last fall, I think, they talked about, like, shedding the programming of society and, like, who are you really? Who are you actually? So, guidance for living a unique and authentic life. Oh, yeah. So, I just really quickly want to say that as Jeff and Shalia teach, and it's not just them, it's the true reality. You're either divine masculine or divine feminine. And I think a lot of divine masculines have incarnated in a feminine or female body because they feel that if you're a feminine, you're like more protected, or like you're safer, or like you don't have to do as much, or like you have less to worry about, or you're gonna be saved first, or like something. Now there's other reasons why people incarnate in other bodies. Some of them it's like actually life purpose related, but the life purpose would only be to heal eventually. So I think a lot of divine masculines believe that women are like special or more important, or they get like everything easier, or they like get more protected or something. It couldn't be further from the truth. I really feel a message coming through about honoring the divine feminine a lot more. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what being a divine feminine means for me. But like even just like being more in touch with my menstrual cycle and my ovulation cycle in the past like year or 2 or 3, like even that, like being a woman I'm not, now I'm not a man, so I can't speak to like, I would want a divine masculine to speak out for how they are designed and what they feel. What I'm saying is feminines are just as protective as masculines. It's not like the divine masculine only protects the feminine. The feminine also protects the masculine. Okay? And both the masculine and the feminine protect the children. It's not like one or the other. And the things that a masculine is called to do by God are the things that are the easiest for them to do. And the things that a feminine is called to do by God in life are the things that actually feel the best to her too. Women aren't more protected than men. That's not true. Even though the masculine is the divine feminine's protector, guess what, masculine? You're going to receive that kind of protection right back from your own feminine in the ways that a feminine does protect. It's never just a one-way street, okay? And as a woman, you're not more vulnerable than a man. A man feels their feelings too. A man is vulnerable too. A man is sensitive too. Jeff and Shalia give this example of like a masculine being the hard outer shell and the feminine being the soft inner squishy. And that's totally true. That is the design. But guess what, masculines? That doesn't mean you're not just as protected by God as the feminine is protected by you. And there's a I'm starting to download even more ideas for a healing sexism conversation. Maybe I'll table them, maybe no. I'll just kind of say it because, like, I can't. This is why I grabbed Sacred Rebel, right? Like, it's time for me to just come out with it and stop caring what other people think. In general, nowadays, men have a lower emotional IQ than women. What that means is just that men haven't been given the same permission. And, like, a woman is programmed to be, like, always feeling their feelings, and it's acceptable. And a man is programmed to, like, shut his feelings down so he can get to work and provide. And so, over the course of history, that has resulted in men having a lower emotional IQ than women, although I believe that that's very temporary. Because it is time for the masculine to go deeper in his feelings where he was not allowed to, probably for lifetimes of suppression. Whereas women, like, if a woman's crying and emotional, it's just like, yeah, that's normal. Same thing said, though, for, like, if a man cries, everyone goes, aww. But if a woman cries, it's like, oh God, what a drama queen. Like, there's all these, like, double standards and stuff, and, like, interesting things and stuff. I just enjoy talking, okay? I'm a chatty person. Unless I'm overstimulated, then I will literally just throw covers over my head and I won't talk to you for hours and hours. So, I just wanted to add this tidbit because it was just coming through, that when it comes to healing sexism, it's not like men treat women bad and that's what sexism is. No. It's actually, sexism is even men not being allowed to process their feelings more. That's also sexism. Like, sexism is both ways. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to throw that bit in there. And also, oh my God. Also speak to the fact that the process of creating a baby, like a woman creates a baby in her womb, is much the same as a creative project. It's sacral. And when it's time to give birth to a baby, much like a CD or a book or any sort of creative art form, a TV show, you can't stop it. It's going to happen. And the creative project of creating a life is very similar to creating anything creative and artistic. It's all sacral. And you can't just heal the sacral chakra, because especially as a manifesting generator, for me, my sacral is very deeply connected to my throat. And so it's the throat that I'm actually working on healing the most. I was guided to get a sodalite crystal a while ago to help me with that. Sodalite is pretty good for throat chakra. I don't want to make this like I only make long videos nowadays. I want to try to give a more snappy, short gift, but it's not really working for me. That's okay. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say, but like I can't say it all in this video. I have to stop. Sacred Fool. Now this is 4 plus 0, which in numerology is 4. That talks about foundation, stability. That's what comes to mind first. Sorry. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? There we go. Sacred Fool. Now, if you're familiar with the tarot, like traditional tarot, the Fool is the 0. Sorry. It is the 0. It is a 0 is like rebirth. It's like from nothing to everything. It's like creation. And this is Sacred Fool. Okay. From the book of Sacred Fool. The Fool is a great rebel, able to thwart convention and tell the truth without constraint. Okay, here we are again. It cares not for the right way to do things. It lives according to an inner wisdom that cannot be dictated to or controlled by anything. It loves, it lives, and it is what it is. This oracle heralds a time, now or imminent, when you will feel inspired, alive, and passionate for what you can offer to the world. It says to you, don't try to be appropriate, don't try to be socially acceptable, and worry about what others may think about what you are doing. Just be. If you want to wear a mad hat whilst doing so, fine. It's time for you to play. Be unscripted, unreserved, bizarre, left of field, unexpected, apparently ridiculous. So that's what I'm talking about in like the sacred mess. Like it seems like there's chaos, but it's actually divine order. Because like if you like, I'm not encouraging you to be messy or be chaotic. What I am hold on. I might have to stop recording. I'm getting like a download. It's kind of intense. Let me just wrap this up, okay? If you find yourself making choices that have others questioning your reality and your sanity, then you're right on course. You are just approaching enlightened awareness. There is a moment, sometimes a rather long one, when we wake up to life, shut our attachment to mass opinion, and float in a completely different state of being. We might find that no one is really able to understand or connect with us, to the point that we question our state of mind. Stay with that, it will pass. You will eventually see that you are becoming sane in an insane world. The tables will turn, and you will gain great inner freedom and creative juice. Stay on your path, stay on your journey. Remember to take nothing too seriously, and it will all work out perfectly. Basically, the moral of the story in today's reading is that you are immortal, and your spiritual awakening or ascension journey is the most important priority in your life. There truly is nothing more important than understanding the true nature of reality, who you are, what you came to this planet to do in this lifetime, and understanding that everything you do now is going to impact all of your future lifetimes. So be careful with yourself and make sure that your inner self is what you're taking care of first and foremost. And guess what? There's this thing where you may experience, this is just from personal experience, okay? Take it as you want it. Take it, leave it, whatever you want to do with it. This is from personal experience, okay? There is this thing. There's this thing where you can go through a spiritual awakening process, a purification process of your consciousness, and then you can like seemingly regress or like fall back asleep. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening, and that's what the lotus teaches us. What actually happens in those dark nights of the soul is that you're integrating higher levels of light than your being has ever integrated before. And that's going to look different for everyone. This is why I'm advocating for hashtag no more bans, hashtag all saints, hashtag church meets world. Why? Because you can't predict or contain or control or even maybe even understand how each individual being is processing this new information and this new level of consciousness. Like, I always thought that I was like super advanced, and I believe I am, but at the same time, like, I had a period of seemingly like falling into spiritual amnesia. But, and guess what? I'm not going to give away any of the best details except in my book. I know. That's my book, and you're going to have to buy it. Okay? You're going to have to buy it. What actually is happening is you're integrating it. And the integration process for new information, the integration process for spiritual enlightenment, sorry, I'm getting another download. One second. Sorry, I'm gonna have to do deeper inner work off camera. Okay. So all I want to say basically is that wherever you are, you're okay. Whatever you're called to do, do it. Whatever you're called to feel, feel it. If you're called to listen to a certain song, listen to it. If you're called to watch a certain movie, do it without judging yourself. Even a movie, even an old movie, can purify your consciousness if it's what you're being called to do. Seriously, like, I'm not kidding. The process of purification, ascension, enlightenment is something that is so deep and personal that you can't judge other people for what they've gone through, what they're going through, or what they will go through. And I can expand on that in other videos. The last thing I want to mention in this video, though, is that when you become who you truly are, you start expressing that, you should just expect a lot of flack, a lot of lashback, perhaps even manipulation, suppression, and downright evil from certain people in your environment. But it's temporary. It will pass. I will expound upon that in my book. I'm not overselling my book, by the way. Books are like $15 a piece, so like it's even not that expensive. But congratulations to everyone watching this. Congratulations to everyone not watching this. My spirituality is very individualistic, and it grows with time. And my favorite thing to do is just be with God and learn from Him. and it triggers so many people you wouldn't even understand. But those people always later vibrationally look back and be like, okay, I finally understand. There's always something to learn from other people around you. There's always something to learn from your environment. There's always something to learn from everything and everybody. But at the same time, you should always claim your sacred rebel aspect and make sure that you're not suppressing or masking, because masking is not just something that autistic people do. Masking is something that everyone does when they feel uncomfortable expressing their full truth, or they're not sure if they should express their full truth. When we had the time of COVID and everyone put their masks on, one second, it was basically a time to go within and feel your feelings more deeply, and I'm gonna have to get into that in a later video because I can't even go there right now. So the reading for today was collaborative dreaming, diving for light, and sacred fool. You know what COVID was? It was a call for the whole planet to be more inner focused. Because the world thus far has been so driven on external profit and gain, and COVID meant that everyone should go home and stop doing and start feeling more. And the whole thing of like masks coming off is because so many people have autism that we didn't even know. And it's time for sharing more truth. Oh my goodness. What are we going to do with that? Well, we're going to show the cards again together, because that is what we do. Here you go. These are the cards for the reading. So, this is a really good deck, especially if you're like breaking out into your own personal rebel phase. Don't be afraid of it. Sacred Rebels by Lana Fairchild. And I know this was an excruciatingly long reading. If you stayed till the end, like, you should probably subscribe, because like how could you watch this much of me if you didn't want to be a subscriber? I'm just saying. No pressure though. I wasn't expecting to do this long of a video, but these things happen. I hope you got something out of it. Feel free to comment, feel free to email me. My door is always open to anyone who wants to chat about anything important. Although I do have my own boundaries, and I'll let you know what they are in regard to like time and energy. But you can always reach out to me, because like I love loving other people. And the way I do it is kind of spicy and interesting, but it's valid. It's completely valid. So, thank you for watching. And if you're interested in this kind of content, please subscribe.